Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
I can feel this in my ears. What is happening?
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Stand up for the things I believe in, but I don't always do what's right. I'm the only hell my mama ever raised, but hell my mama tried. I am the last of a dying breed. There ain't many souls left like me. I'm a man of my word, that's a guarantee. I'm the last of a dying breed. Don't need much for me to get by. I don't fit in with the suit and the tie. You won't see me sitting high on a throne, so please tell the wolves that I'm finally home. In the last of a dying breed, there ain't many souls left like me. I'm a man of my word, that's a guarantee. I'm the last of a dying breed. I'm a God-fearing man, I ain't afraid of my fate. I'm a lot like Drake, born 50 years too of a dying breed. There ain't many souls left like me. I'm a man of my word, that's a guarantee. I'm the last of a dying breed. I am the last of a dying breed. There ain't many souls left like me. I'm a man of my word, that's a guarantee. I'm the last of a dying breed.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
The horse, with beauty unsurpassed, strength immeasurable, and grace unlike any other, still remains humble enough to carry a man upon its back. When a service member or first responder takes an oath, he or she has mentally and physically committed themselves with self-sacrifice. From the front lines abroad to the very streets you live on in America, they protect. This oath is non-refundable and it is lifelong. Facing unimaginable dangers and unseen scars, these grounds are a place to recover and face any challenges head-on. As veterans and first responders ourselves, we know that battle all too well. From a simple talk with a friend on horseback to an entire debrief in the barn, this sanctuary has seen recovery take place time and time again. No hour of life is wasted that is spent in a saddle. The way we approach change isn't a new phenomenon. This animal has been with humans over 5,000 years. If you've ever been around a horse for long enough, you'll feel that thing, that electric trust. In that moment, nothing else is in your mind. When they turn into you, it's like the world disappears. We harness that moment to build skills off of. Repurposing requires flexibility, adaptability, and the willingness to challenge assumptions and conventional thinking. This approach can be applied to many areas in life, including business, education, and personal growth. To ride a horse is to fly without wings. This lesson and skills learned at War Horses will help reintegrate back into daily life. You'll learn coping mechanisms, improved communication skills, trust, and confidence that will help reduce symptoms of anxiety and depression. These tools can be used every day to navigate life and take on many challenges. This may involve practicing mindfulness, setting boundaries, and improving communication with loved ones. Transitioning back to society is hard on your own. And when you're at War Horses, you're family, and families solve problems together.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
Please enjoy the show. Shots.
I can feel this in my ears. What is happening?
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
What is going on, everybody? Got to remember to mash the right buttons. Let me turn that music down just a little bit so I can hear myself think. What's going on, everybody? My name is Kaz, and up there is Pookie. He's back from his long, well-deserved vacation. This is Friday Night Freedom, and we're gonna have a good time tonight. Well, I don't know if we're gonna have a good time. I think we might even have a great time tonight. Because it's Friday, man. The week is over. Got a couple of days off to recharge the batteries. And I guess we're going to try to kick it off kind of okay style here. Dude, it was 111 today.
Yeah, I've been hearing about how hot it's been down there in Texas.
I think that's the hottest it's been all year. So we've got this website where you can monitor the grid conditions, because Texas has had grid issues, like power grid issues. And so, I mean, there's maybe this website's always been out there, but it's just like a real time. I mean, within 30 seconds of the grid conditions, it tells you how many megawatts of power you've got in reserve. It's got all kinds of graphs and cool stuff. Engineers love graphs and stuff like that. So it's very informative. And today it's the hottest damn day of the year, but the grid is performing better today than it was yesterday. It was 110 yesterday, and we were damn close to, I mean, the lines were, you got a dotted line, which is consumption, and then the line above it is a solid line, and it says this is our projected output. So this is the budgeted output is the solid line, and the dashed line was what was actually being consumed, and they were right on top of each other, man. So it's like, oh, here it comes. They're gonna turn off the power, but it never happened. I mean, knock on wood, man. I haven't had any power issues so far this summer. But now we're entering, we're halfway through August. August and September are typically the hottest months of the year here. I'm in Texas, so we do broadcast from all over the United States. So I'm one of the guys in Texas. So you were down here seeing some old battle buddies and stuff, having your reunion. How did that go?
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. Get to hang out, enjoy the ridiculous heat. There's a swimming pool at least. Cool off a bit.
Was it everything you expected?
Oh, dude, that place, that Airbnb we picked up, man, it was beautiful, man. That's all I gotta say is this is a nice little. That's a secret. I'm gonna keep to myself. I ain't telling no one about that one.
God, they're clamping down on our Airbnbs, man. A lot of municipalities. Dallas is one of them where they're doing their third party rentals. I forget what they call them, but they've been kind of.
This was out in BFE pretty much, so
that's good.
Yeah.
Out in BFE, you tend to have less or fewer restrictions for all that stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at going and visiting my kids and stuff, and hotels are just so expensive. Hey, Estella, love and kisses back to you from Panama. You know, I saw a story today that says that there was a traffic jam in the Panama Canal today.
I didn't see nothing about that.
I looked at I looked at my maritime map, and I didn't see anything crazy. Not inside the canal. There was a lot of backup outside, but not inside the canal was pretty. Everybody was cruising around pretty cool. So Trevin Johnson says, why did Facebook immediately put me on this? Well, because this might be just where you're supposed to be. Appreciate you being here. I don't care if it's on purpose or by accident, man. Just pull up a chair, grab a cold beverage, and hang out with us for a bit, man. I don't know. I've got this little, pieces of paper here that kind of guide me towards what we're going to talk about. We're definitely going to talk about the Maui fires. We're going to talk a little bit about the Oliver Anthony. We're going to talk about, dude, I did that show with Radar while you were gone. He stood in for you, and I got 3 stories in. I had like nine topics to talk about. I got 3 of them knocked out because we just bullshitted for the whole time. I think we might have even gone overtime. And the only reason why I stopped, I think I had to go to the bathroom or something, so I just called the show. But it was great. I had him back in the bubble. It was like old times.
He ate a bubble.
I think he needs to put TZ in a bubble on his show.
Nah.
Radar's got a show. He's called The Smoke Pit. It's on Wednesday nights. It's really awesome. So yeah, our show lineup looks a little bit something like this. Sunday is the Sports Bar. Monday is the Monday edition. Pop Culture Warrior is on Tuesday. This week he's got a guest. Writer and producer Ralph Tedesco is going to be on with CQ. I think it's on the calendar, so I'm gonna say that's going to be the guest. So. I don't know who Ralph Tedesco is, but that name is familiar to me. So I am going to tune in just to figure out exactly who this guy is. He's been doing his craft for, I don't know, 20 plus years. So yeah, that's going to happen Tuesday. Now, Wednesday is the Smoke Pit. We had a great guest. Shitfire Save Matches. What is his name? Oh, Team, no, it'll be an ops. What was his name? Oh, I want to say Clay Walker, but it wasn't Clay Walker. It wasn't Clay Walker at all. Jack Hill. Jack Hill was on. He's an active military guy, Cav guy. And he was, I think he's out on the west coast, but he's just, he's a TikToker, and he's tearing it up, man. He's a funny guy. I really liked that interview. I hung out for the whole thing, only because I was home Thursday and today because of house issues, and I can get into that in a second after we talk about Sarge's Time coming up on Thursday, and then we're back here on every other Friday for Friday Night Freedom because of my work schedule. I'm not able to be here every Friday. So that's our lineup. We got a guest this Tuesday. All of our shows start at 2000 hours, so everybody's invited for all of the shows. You can catch us on Facebook. We have 2 Facebook accounts. We got the one for U.S. Army WTF Moments. We have the WTF Nation Radio Facebook. We're over on YouTube at WTF Nation Radio. We are on Twitter or X. What is it called? X? Is that what it's called?
Oh, X now, yes.
Okay, but it's Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter.
We're there. We don't have a lot of interaction there that we do here on Facebook and YouTube and stuff. I can type something into the chat here, and it gets broadcast out to everything except for except for Twitter, and I don't think it translates over into Kick, which is our new streaming platform, which is pretty cool. Go to kick.com, and like for this show, it would be kick.com/Friday Night Freedom, and then you'll see us. It's pretty cool. There is a chat there. I don't have it pulled up because I'm an irresponsible person, but it's really cool. There's no lag, and it's pretty cool. I like the layout of it, but yeah. But we're here right now tonight, and I don't know what to start off with. Oh, why I took Thursday and Friday off? Thank you. Thursday I took off because I had some contractors come over to the house. I am experiencing, like, I guess you can't really call yourself a true Texas homeowner unless you've had foundation issues that you've had remediated. Yeah, we live on a sea of clay here in Texas, and in the summertime, I haven't had any rain probably since April, the end of March, beginning of April. I think it was the last significant rain, and the ground just dries up, and it doesn't matter. I've got soaker hoses all around the house, and I run it about 3 days a week for several hours, 4 or 5 hours, and it's horrible, man. It's just the ground is dry. The gaps in the soil are inches wide. The soil pulls away from the foundation, and it loses its support. And sometimes the foundation moves. So normally a normal house, a foundation will move, vertically like this. In Texas, it moves like this, and it doesn't always end up straight. So mine didn't end up straight. We've been really, really dry. And the reason why I did this, I was putting tile up in my shower, and I noticed the next day that there was I got a peak in my bedroom, and down from the apex of the peak, it going straight down, there was just a crack had appeared in the wall, and I'm like, okay, here we go. I got foundation issues, and it's like you there's nothing to do. You can't do anything after that point. You can't do anything. So I was already watering my foundation, and that's like the only thing you can do. But when you've got 100-degree days, several 100-degree days, and no rain, your shit's in the wind. So yeah, I had 2 contractors show up yesterday. Another one showed up today, and it's looking like I'm going to be spending some money on some foundation repair. And it's really weird because I called several different companies for quotes, because you don't just want to go with the first guy. 2 of them I chose because they were recommended by other colleagues at work that have had foundation repairs, and the other 2 I just picked at random. One of them was a big name, and the other one was just another name. And they all came out, and the spread, the quotes ranged anywhere from $2,500 to $30,000 to fix my foundation. So I've got some choices to make. My driveway's a little jacked up for the same reason, so I need to get that. That needs to be added to the bill. So that's going to be another probably $3,000 or so to get another driveway installed. One, remove and replace. But it's just weird. They bring these really cool tools in that you measure at a certain point in the house, and then there's every couple of feet they take measurements, and it's all relative to that first spot. So they set their zero, and then they go through these other points and stuff, and it's just really, really, it's really pretty cool. I'm a gadget guy, so I thought it was pretty cool. But yeah, I got the back side of my house is 4.2 inches lower than it needs to be.
You had a drop like that?
4.2 inches, yeah. Well, my house was built in 1984, that's not bad for a house that's 30 plus.
The house I'm living in right now kind of has that, but I think the house was built in like the early 80s, and this is, swampland, so it's just you guys are probably pier and beam out there, though, aren't you? No,
do you have a basement?
We don't do this concrete slab, so there's a crawl space underneath the house, not really a basement.
I see.
But we had that vacuum sealed well, not vacuum sealed, but they put that white crap all over the place and keep the dirt down, and instead of bugs crawling everywhere, it's nice. It's nice.
Dang. There's been comments on the t-shirts. This is an old school WTF Nation Radio t-shirt. This was like our only real t-shirt that we had. I don't think we have a merch shop. I think it's in the works, and it will be coming out soon. There's just a lot of details that have to get taken care of. But I think we're going to have a merch options. What's that? That's a nuclear cloud.
That's from PsyOp merch.company. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
These guys. I don't know if you can see that on the camera here.
Ah.
Yeah. Gotta be repping.
So you've been seeing the news lately. The biggest is Maui, and I don't want to talk about that just yet. We'll talk about it in a couple minutes. But I wanted to talk about, and I was going to play the song Richmond, North of Richmond, and I think it's a pretty freaking cool song. Has everybody heard it? I think everybody has heard it.
I think everyone has heard it by this point.
I think, yeah. If you haven't heard it, raise your hand or something, and I'll play little snips of it. I was gonna lead off with it, but I really don't. This thing has blown up, and dude's got his song on like Apple Play and Spotify, and I don't want to poke the bear, so to speak, and get a copyright strike. His stuff isn't copywritten, but I think there might be something in the fine print when you put music on Apple Play and Spotify that they kind of take a little bit of monetary control over your music. But yeah, Mo, so why do you have to be difficult, dude? Damn it! All right, I know you. Have you heard it? No,
I know he's heard it.
I'll play. Let me turn the volume down so it'll be playing in the background. How about that?
I just remember hearing a song nonstop on TikTok, and then all of a sudden it blew up on Twitter. Like it was like 3-4 days. It was just traveling around on TikTok. All of a sudden, like Rolling Stones and all them started writing crap about it. I was like, wait, really?
Mm-hmm. So it's playing really low in the background, but it's a blue collar. It's a good blue collar song. It's not virtuosic. It's well written. The lyrics are good. The playing is extremely simple. Dude's playing the tune on an old Gretsch guitar, which is pretty fantastic. It's a really nice guitar. Mm-hmm. But this guy doesn't. This isn't what this guy does. David, I'm not gonna sing it, dude. It's got some really good zingers in there. Mm-hmm. We got ones coming up here. Here we go.
Now I gotta go pull it up. We're digging through.
Look out for miners, and not just miners on an island somewhere. Lord, we got folks in the street ain't got.
So it's just a really cool song. So if you want to hear the whole thing uninterrupted by people like me and Pookie, just go anywhere. Just type in Oliver Anthony, and you'll find the song.
The Oliver Anthony Music, I think is what it's called. But
yep, Oliver Anthony Music. But yeah, that's anyway. He's blown up, dude. He's just been a musician in Appalachia. He's a blue collar worker, and he just sings a really cool song about that. So his name is actually Christopher Anthony Lunsford, aka Oliver Anthony's song "Richmond, North of Richmond" has taken him from zero to hero in a matter of days. The media is calling it a, quote, conservative anthem, as politicians like Carrie Lake, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Lauren Boebert have wrapped their arms around the song. The song references taxation as theft, human trafficking, and the absolute fact that no one who exploited children on Epstein Island has ever been prosecuted, least of all been arrested. Anthony has been offered recording contracts because of this one song. He has offers on the table for folks to pay for the production of his song. Producers in the country music world have actually agreed to produce it for nothing. As far as I know, he hasn't accepted any of these offers. He did a little like an in the car video, and he's just like, I can't believe it. He's humbled. He's appreciative. He appreciates all the messages, and I think he was either going to or coming from a festival that he played, where normally he'd have 20 or 30 people, and he had thousands of people showed up to hear him.
Oh, what's the country singer? You should have seen it in color. Actually, like showed up. And they sang that together at that little meetup.
Oh, cool.
I guess it was. Yeah.
So I don't see it as a conservative anthem at all. I think it's a pretty great, simple song that applies to everyone. It's nothing in the song that he sings about is untrue or made up.
I didn't hear him talking politics at all either in it, except, screw the government pretty much.
Yeah, and he mentioned politicians, so it's like, both sides of the aisle are guilty in this. I mean, I believe that. So I'm wondering why media outlets are so upset at the song. As you can see by I was going to show the video and I didn't. I chose not to. But there's a lot of demographics. There's a lot of reaction videos, and you see a lot of reaction videos on YouTube. And there's just the whole spectrum of human beings are reacting to this song, and they all had kind of the same reaction.
No.
And it's just, I don't want to be I don't want to assume your political identity based on your skin color, but I've seen a lot of reaction videos from these folks as well on that video for other music. And based on that experience, I assure you that their reactions were legitimately true. In my opinion, roaches get pretty agitated when the lights come on. So I think that's why the media is upset. And I think that's why certain politicians are upset. They actually called Oliver Anthony a conservative plant. It's just ridiculous. But the thing is,
I saw the Rolling Stone article on him. Just blew my mind when I saw it. I was like, "Are you serious?"
What did they say? I didn't read that one.
I gotta pull it up. I'll just read the headline of it. Let's see. Rolling Stone, Oliver Anthony. I can't type right now.
Yeah, Holly said he said that he never really wanted to sing, and he still doesn't want to. He said his guitar playing is mediocre. His voice isn't that great. So he's a humble dude. I thought his voice was fine and his playing was fine.
Oh, the headline from Rolling Stones was, right-wing influencers just found their favorite new country song. In Richmond, north of Richmond, a singing farmer in Virginia blasts high taxes, obese people on welfare, and even appears to allude to Jeffrey Epstein.
Who did not hang himself.
And then, Rolling Stones have just been like loss after loss after loss with some of their articles just of late. It's just, I
think Rolling Stones kind of turned into the BuzzFeed of music.
It's just, well, I mean, they've even been going after like small time YouTube and TikTok influencers and stuff like that, like low key, like what's his name? I don't know if you ever followed Wrangler Star, but I've been following him for a while. He's big. He was big on TikTok till they banned him on TikTok. But they came out.
What do you have to do to get banned on TikTok, man? I thought they were pretty.
I don't know. I followed his stuff. He does a lot of satire kind of things, like "Did you know this?" or "Did you know that?" But he's a they try. Man, Wrangler Star, they got him bad. Like they were telling everyone that he's teaching people to make bombs and this and that.
Oh God.
Yes, and I was like, he had to pull almost all of his content down on YouTube because he was like, I'm afraid I'm gonna get death threats and stuff like that. I have to private everything, anything that involved my family, any of this, any of that. And I mean, the day the video that hit, I call it a hit piece because that's what it is. They wrote about him. That day he posted a video about how to oil your dirt bike chain, or how to take care of your dirt bike chain. That's the kind of stuff he makes, like how to sharpen an axe or, this and that, and they went after him. And I was just like, what the heck is going on?
It kind of sounds like a flash mob to cancel somebody. Just all these, you just flood the admins with a bunch of complaints and
Well, I mean, it's just, well, when they started that with, was his name's Chris Anthony, I believe, right? Oliver Anthony, Chris Anthony, I think his name is his proper name.
Christopher Anthony Lunsford.
Yeah, well, just Chris then.
Yeah.
So when they went after, like, there's a whole bunch of weird articles that were like that, like, oh, this right wing. I don't see any politics in any of the songs that he sings.
No, it's just like a reflection of reality right now.
But to me, it was this insanity that seeing these articles. I'm like, and everyone sees it though. That's the crazy part about it is everyone on like Twitter and TikTok, they saw this and they were like, "Are you shitting us?" It's like the media has lost all credibility anymore.
Right. I don't see what the problem is. And the fact that they don't see that there is a problem is a problem. And they start trying to trash him for this song. He's a conservative plant, or this is a conservative anthem. No, dude, it's an American anthem. It's a working man's anthem. It's anybody. I mean, because everybody's kind of suffering in one way or another. Where we are experiencing the effects of a really crappy fiscal policy and stuff. So it's just, I don't know what else to say, man. If you can't see the problem right in front of your face, then.
Well, I mean, you gotta think most of these quote unquote, I'll say quote unquote journalists, because they're just opinion piece writers 99% of the time, but they live in a kind of a detached bubble from everyone else. They're used to being they live in echo chambers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and it's all their friends think the same way, and they don't. I mean, this guy's Rolling Stone guy that wrote the article probably has lived in California his entire life and has never set foot into Appalachia specifically, like some of them mining towns and railroad towns. Those people bust their asses on a day-to-day basis just to make it by, man. He's a humble dude. There's a video out there. He showed, he's got a couple of songs that he has on YouTube. Anybody can go and watch it. But I think he did a walkthrough, and there's just like, here's my studio. And it was like his laundry room in his house. Laundry room with some blankets set up on the walls.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah. He's a plant, dude. He just got a microphone. He just got that microphone.
Posted something on, I think it was Facebook. He posted like a little snippet about himself and who he is and how he got Oliver Anthony Music was, I guess that was his grandfather's name, and he's saying I worked my life, like pretty much worked, and I guess he had a bad head injury on one of the jobs he was working, so he had to take like a couple months off, and he started working. I think it was a paper mill he worked at for a while, and that's, I don't know if you've ever been in a paper mill, but that's crazy work. No, he said he lives on a $97,000 property with a $700 24-foot camper they bought on Craigslist. So I mean,
he's not rolling. Well, he has the potential to roll into. He's been offered millions of dollars.
He's turned them down.
He's turned all of them down.
Yes, he was like, I don't want that. I don't need 15 buses and tractor, trailers following me everywhere. I don't want a jet. I don't want us playing stadiums. That's not me at that point. I was like, this is the most genuine crap, man. Most people would have signed their line to the devil on that dotted line real quick. Like, yeah, I'll take $8 million.
I think if I was in his position, I would probably say, yes, let me sign a contract to record this song. You can produce this song. I get a certain percentage of the revenues, and then we'll split it or whatever. He doesn't have an agent to pay. He doesn't have anything. Just pay the record companies for distribution and production. But he's gotten free offers for production. So he can make good for himself and his family. Just for releasing that one song, and then he can just go about and do his own thing and lead his own life, not sign a contract. A lot of these bands are out there that they're really, really good. And then you read about all these bands that are they're broke and they're still living, hand to mouth, and they don't have a lot of money and they're living on the bus. but they have these super successful albums. The thing is, they get fractions of pennies in compensation for their work. The only time that they really make money is when they're out on tour.
Yeah, they're doing tours and selling merchandise at the tours, and their album sales don't. I mean, Roadrunner. I don't know if you remember Roadrunner label. They were notorious for doing that to artists. They'd sign them, and they would just chew up like 90% of the revenue coming in from album releases and stuff like that. So, or
they'd say, here's $30 million. Here's a $30 million contract, but in the contract, it's like, okay,
you got to produce an album every year.
Exactly.
Blah, blah, blah,
within the next 7 years, you need to have 5 albums, 10 songs minimum, a certain amount of singles, and then you have to pay for the studio time, all the production work, all the post-production work, all the mixing and mastering and stuff, because people work in those industries and they deserve to be paid.
No, sound engineers definitely deserve to get paid.
But then you run into like even Taylor Swift's run into this. I mean, she used to sing for Big Machine Records, and all of her entire music library got bought up. Someone bought it. So she lost all of the rights to her songs. So she's like re-releasing them, like not revised. I think they're just remastered. And then she's claiming control of those songs, reclaiming control of those songs. And she's doing such a great job on tour right now. I'm not a Swiftie, dude. I recognize that woman is just an absolute machine when it comes to making money. She's likable. Her songs don't suck. I don't care how much you hate Taylor Swift. Her songs appeal to her audience, and it's just she's making bank, and I'm happy for her. I think it's pretty cool. But I think all artists ought to get. I think Spotify sucks for artists. People, artists put their songs on Spotify, but they get fractions of pennies per listen. So they,
Well, fractions of pennies per listen on 700-800.
They do add up. It does add up, but it's just really with all the money that record companies are making, and this kind of transcends into the SAG-AFTRA thing. It's just these movie companies are making such an enormous amount of money, and I really don't. I'm not bagging on people making money. I think that's a good thing. Money is not a bad thing.
But don't step on so many necks to get it.
I think you could probably afford to spread the wealth a little bit and give your writers and your actors a little bit bigger piece of the pie.
Trying to see this here. No,
I'm definitely not a union guy in the strike. Every time I see the strike, and I don't get it, because you get big rollers like what's his name, Cranston from Breaking Bad. All of these big name actors were out there rallying the troops and shit, but they're sitting on bank accounts that have tens or hundreds of millions of dollars in it, and they're gaslighting. They're all of the writers and the smaller part actors that don't make the big money, that don't get millions of dollars just for showing their face on film, to strike and to not work. And there's stories out there of actors right now that haven't quite made it yet, that are about to lose their homes because they're not making money. Because in solidarity, they're all striking. So everybody's losing money. The actors are losing money. The studios are losing money.
I mean, I'm gonna be 10 cents. Put my 10 cents in there about the writers have been really sucking at their job over the last couple of years. There, so that's just me.
I think that there's a lot of uncreativity. It's like they're re-releasing, they're rehashing ground that's already been trampled on.
Oh, and back to the whole Oliver Anthony song, that Rich Men North of Richmond. Mm-hmm. He has a Spotify page, kind of Oliver Anthony music. Chris does, at least. When I first went to it, when all the talking before even Twitter even started grabbing a hold of this,
it's like 38 people. Woo!
No, he had probably about 20. I think it was about 20,000 monthly listeners on some of his songs, because he's got some other songs that are really good. But since it hit Twitter, since Rolling Stones tried to do everything, and all these other news places started saying right wing this, right wing that, right wing this, He's went from the 20,000 to 2.3 million monthly listeners.
Oh gosh.
it's the Richmond, North of Richmond hit Spotify probably a week ago. It's already got 7 million listens. But his most popular song, and I think not his most popular, but I think it's his best song, is I Ain't Got a Dollar.
I Ain't Got a Dollar, and his other one, I Gotta Get Sober.
I've Got to Get Sober. Those are the three big ones.
Mm-hmm.
But I think everyone's, I ain't got a dollar, don't need a dime. I think that's a good song. I think that's like everyone blew up Richmond, North of Richmond, because I guess we all can relate to that. But I mean, he's got other good music out there. But if he's making 1 cent per view of his song or play of his song, he's got a pretty penny coming in from Spotify here.
That's good. Maybe he can, build a house or get a better trailer or something if that's what he wants to live in. I don't know. I don't know what he does or what his life's like. I think he works his ass off and he plays guitar as a hobby. He said he had some substance abuse issues, and he just he found an outlet in music. So he learned how to play guitar, started songwriting, and this is only a couple of years ago. So good for him, man. Good for him. Moose has got a good point. He said make them partners and share in the profits and losses. As long as everybody gets paid. I mean, he needs to get paid for his craft, but I mean, the producers need to get paid. Everybody involved needs to get something. So it might be like, oh yeah, it's, you're going to get all of this money, but then these other folks need to be paid. Just like, what Taylor Swift does. I hate to keep on using her as an example, but she has to pay everybody. She gave a lot of her, like all the truck drivers, gave them like $100,000 in a bonus.
That's dope.
That's taking care of your people, man, and that's great. Which the thing is, when I hear that, you get $100,000 as a bonus. Well, bonuses are taxed federally 22%.
Yeah,
there's no way around that. 22% off the top. So
like
enjoy your $80,000.
That what was up to almost $1.9 billion Powerball winning down there in Florida. I think after taxes, federal taxes, and state taxes,
that's probably got like $700 million.
No, $400-some million if the cash, because of the taxes, they're so insane. So I was just like, the government made out better than he did.
No kidding, dude. I mean, $400 million ain't nothing to sneeze at, but when the prize was $1.4 billion,
yeah,
he gets a third of that. It all depends on what state you're into. I don't know.
It was Florida, I think.
Federally it's taxed at whatever 28% or whatever the max is. I'm not sure what Florida does.
The scale, because federal tax scale is weird because it starts out. I mean, income. It starts out this. I don't know.
Well, your income really doesn't matter when you win $1.4 billion.
Yeah, that first few brackets don't even.
No, you kind of blew all the brackets out of the way. So I wonder, does Google this real quick? Does Florida tax lottery winnings?
Ooh, I'm sure they do.
You know what? I was surprised that California doesn't. All they got to do is pay their federal tax on the lottery winnings.
That's weird. I figured they'd rape the heck out of it.
Yeah, I figured that's like one of the most pro-tax states, and they don't tax lottery winnings.
Florida lottery ticket winner wins 1.58 billion, 493.5 million after taxes. So yeah, a third of it. But I'm trying to figure out what he had to pay to Florida here. Give me a second. IRS. Okay, states. Arizona. Just give me the information. Yeah, it doesn't say anything here. No, it didn't say anything there. Oh wait.
Florida does not tax lottery winnings, so your Powerball prize will only be subject to federal taxes.
There you go. I was looking at the wrong thing then, apparently.
So that's insane, dude.
The Fed took that much money. They took 2/3 of his winnings from him.
And that's how black budgets get funded.
Nah. There should be a law stating that they're not allowed to tax that crap, because that's straight up theft at that point.
So that dude won all that, so everyone else doesn't have to pay taxes because everyone's taxes have been paid. Jeez.
Ukraine gets a new tank.
Fuck, dude.
Maui gets $700 per head.
Dude, let's talk about Maui for a little bit. Oh my gosh, this is another huge story around the world, and it's the fires in Maui, dude.
No comment.
Oh no, we're gonna comment the fuck out of this.
No comment.
Oh yeah. President Biden, what about the rising death toll in Maui? No comment. Excuse me? You're the president of the fucking United States. Oh my gosh. So in many of the media reports that I have read, the reasons behind the blaze initially were like, ooh, look, it's climate change. Climate change is causing this. They just never let a crisis go to waste. So the initial blame was climate change, but now the fall guy appears to be the power company. There's videos showing the failure of a power line that sparked the Lahaina fire. So far, at least in Lahaina, there are well over 100 dead. I believe the count is somewhere like between 111 and 120.
I think they're lying. I think the media is lying about that too.
But there's more than 1,000 people that are still missing. So you can expect that. May I ask a question about taxes? Of course. Musa, go ahead. Please ask. I'm going to go ahead with reading the story, but as soon as you ask that question, I'll stop. So there was a cascade of failures that happened in Maui, and it doesn't help that yes, a power pole failed, or a tree knocked down a power line or whatever. Winds were high, not like normal high. I mean like 70 miles an hour. Thanks to Tropical Storm Ferdinand. When the fire became out of control, the Maui Emergency Management Agency chose not to sound the evacuation alarms. They decided not to sound the sirens as the fire was approaching, fearing that coastal residents would have fled inland toward the flames. Really? If I'm hearing evacuation alarms, I'm not going to drive toward the smoke. And at nighttime, you can see the glow.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that happened. Residents also who tried to evacuate. Check this freaking picture out. Residents who were trying to evacuate found that their evacuation routes were blocked by utility company trucks. The utility trucks weren't clearing the road or nothing. They were trying to erect new power poles. Look at that. I mean, there's power wires on the ground. They were putting in new poles. The administrator Herman Andaya, who is the chief administrator of that agency, resigned last night. I think he resigned probably around 8 o'clock local time. This is the most fucked up shit ever, man. There's so many things that went wrong. Governor Josh Green made a statement that grabbed my attention, and he said, quote, he is already thinking about the state to acquire the land so they can put it into workforce housing or put it back into the families or make it into an open space as a memorial. So here's
this is what Governor Josh Green had to say, along with the FEMA director, about preserving Lahaina moving forward.
I'm already thinking about ways for the state to acquire that land so that we can put it into workforce housing, to put it back into families, or to make it open spaces in perpetuity as a memorial to people who were lost. We want this to be something that we remember after the pain passes.
So that's he cuts off there. So he said that he was already thinking about having the state acquire the land so they can put it into workforce housing or put it back into families or to make it into an open space as a memorial. Now, the reason for this, he kind of went on in other conversations, he said it was to prevent opportunists from grabbing the land up and then resell it at an ultra premium. So as of the 15th, the Mailea City Council, which is nowhere near Lahaina, voted unanimously in favor of acquiring 257 acres of land. The only problem is that none of the residents want to sell it to the government. So now the government is actually actively looking at eminent domain, which means they're going to give you whatever market price is, or probably below market price, and you're just going to have to, eat that shit sandwich. Land on Maui is expensive. That entire island. The entire island is about the size of Rhode Island, if that can give you a little bit of reference. The average home on the island of Maui costs $1.4 million. And this is based off of a Redfin estimate that I saw that was done in July of this year. So that's current information. President Biden was kicking and screaming to make a statement on the situation in Maui. Last weekend, as the fires raged, President Biden was asked about the rising death toll, and his comment was no comment.
No comment.
He actually said those words.
No comment.
No comment. Since then, President Biden has pledged support to the people of the Big Island. But the Big Island is Hawaii, not Maui. So, okay, he misspeaks. That's kind of what he does. That's his thing. That's his jam. Anyway, Biden and his handler, Jill Biden, will visit Maui on Monday to meet with local officials. So we'll see how that goes. A couple of days ago, President Biden tweeted, this is a quote, "We are laser focused on getting aid to survivors, including critical needs assistance, a one-time $700 payment per household, offering relief during this unimaginably difficult time."
It's not even enough for a one-night stay at a hotel in freaking Hawaii, man.
Especially Maui. So anyway, his tweet was met with a ton of criticism. I mean, there's not a lot of, "Oh, thank you, Mr. President, you're doing awesome. I'm going to vote for you in 2024." It was all like, "Oh, are you sure we can afford it? We're giving Ukraine billions of dollars." And I think someone did the math, and it was like roughly $350 million is what the government would spend to give every homeowner $700 on Maui. And we're giving billions with a B. Pallets and pallets and pallets of cash are going into the Ukraine.
Let them eat cake moment right there.
Oh, dude. How do you say let them eat cake without saying let them eat cake? This is exactly how you do it.
People are seeing it now, man. People are starting to wake up to this bullshit. I'm just saying, but the land grab thing pisses me off because the state says, we're going to do this, we're going to build workforce housing. Okay, now you own the workforce housing in 5-10 years. You just sell it from, you could rent it out or do whatever it is or have a management. But then when you want to sell it to whoever that wants to build this nice hotel, you'll do it in a blink of an eye and make a killing off of it. Huh?
See, I think it's a good idea to keep the investors from coming in and just saying, hey, I'll give you, you're desperate now. You don't have a house anymore. I'm going to give you $1 million for your home or your acreage or whatever that's worth, 5 times that.
Mm-hmm.
But they'll actually have $1 million to survive on. And that's really enticing for people that go through a tragedy like this. They've lost everything. And I'm not saying everybody on Maui is devastated, but there's like 4 or 5 different, significant fires. So these opportunists are going to come in with their bottomless pit of cash and just, throw $1 million here, throw $1 million there. Sooner or later, they're going to have a very big swath on there. Fires have gone away. It doesn't take a whole lot of money to raise the land and build, nice houses, super nice houses, or, hotels or resort areas. So it's all a money game. Patricia Faust says the rich get richer. I'm not against somebody making money. If you got a hustle, do your hustle, man. Just don't fuck people. Don't look at people suffering and say, well, this is worth $10 million, but you're desperate, so I'm going to offer you $2 million, and you're probably going to take it because you've got to feed your family.
I think they should just give all the land back to the natives.
The locals there are pretty pissed off. The local there are just like, what is this $700? I don't want I don't want your money. They're just like, fuck this. I don't need that. It's like the
insurance company sending you like a $2 check in the mail. Oh, we messed up on your
dude.
It's not even worth my time to cash this shit.
I was going through some paperwork. I've got a check from my insurance company for $1.
Hey, you overpaid us. Here's $1.
Yeah, here's $1.
You spent more money mailing this to me.
Yeah, but that's okay, because I didn't cash it. So it's fucking up their accounting.
I do that on purpose too. I'll just sit there and not cash. Oh, you figured that out. That $2. Oh, wait till the next quarter.
Wait till you get audited and have to explain this. So there's other issues. So if you believe social media, the surrounding communities of the devastated areas are owned by the likes of Jeff Bezos, Jim Carrey, Steven Tyler, Paul Simon, Owen Wilson, Mick Fleetwood, and Oprah Winfrey. Tons of tinfoil hats coming out talking about why these rich folks' houses weren't destroyed. The truth is that, yes, these celebrities do own land on Maui. None of their homes were even remotely close to the Lahaina fires. 99% of them aren't even near any of the hot spots. Mick Fleetwood, I think, he's the drummer for Fleetwood Mac. He had a restaurant in Lahaina. It got destroyed, but that's about it. So, lover or hater, Oprah has stepped up and she's pledging a fuck ton of money to rebuild. So good on her. I'm happy to see that.
Yeah.
In my professional opinion, everything there it's an act of God whose aftermath could have been mitigated through proper land management and emergency services, but the government failed.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
The government failed.
Say it again.
The government failed.
Say it again.
The government failed.
Yay!
They had one job. The government has one job, dude.
Take care of the people.
Take care of the people.
They neglected it.
They failed, dude.
More worried about stupid crap, like what guns you got, what kind of attachments you have on your firearms, instead of trimming woods down, maintaining the infrastructure. Things. I heard they shut the water off while people were trying to fight this stuff with their.
No, really?
Yes. I heard a bunch of people say that we're out here trying to fight these brush fires with our hoses, our garden hoses and stuff like that, and they shut the water off. And I heard someone saying that the fire department didn't even have access to water.
Well, the thing is, I think it wasn't okay. Musa, I do see your comment, and I'm gonna comment on that in a second. But the thing is, the water got shut off because the power failed. The pumps weren't powered, so they couldn't pump water. Electrical failure, and that goes to Moose's comment. He goes, it was not an act of God, it was the utility company that caused it.
Mm-hmm.
It was something caused a tree to fall into a power line, or the power line failed. Yes, I actually saw the video. It was outside of some kind of a wildlife preserve that they had.
No, there's even more. There's pictures floating around before this happened. People were complaining to the power company that, hey, there's overgrowth and there's trees growing through the power lines.
That's that's proper land management that they failed. And this is the same reason why California burns almost every year is poor land management.
They should. In my opinion, if you're living on an island that's prone to tropical cyclones and hurricanes and stuff like that throughout the year or whatever it is, you might want to bury your power lines.
Yeah.
It's just that makes sense. Treat it as a weird utility. Have everything running in pipes underneath the ground. You don't have to worry about anything growing up on top of them and sparking and catching a fire at that point. Huh?
So Holly says Oprah owns over 1,000 acres. She acquired 800 in the last 2 years.
Zuckerberg owned something crazy.
He's got land. Who else is on that list?
I think Zuckerberg's on the Big Island, and he's got some insane amount of property. And people, I think the natives are highly agitated about that. Hmm?
It's like Ted Turner in Montana owns thousands of acres in Montana.
Bill Gates is another one.
Bill Gates owns. He just says, "I'll take it all, thanks. Here's the check.
Give me the land. Give me the land. Give me the land."
Let's see, who is this? Jeff Bezos, Jim Carrey, Steven Tyler, Paul Simon, Owen Wilson. Where's my... Yeah, this is the... But they all own... Owen Wilson's on the North Shore. Sammy Hagar's there. I mean, God, that's just such great locations, and that's cool, dude. You make a lot of money, and if you want to buy a nice, expensive house wherever, that's great. Oprah owns Oprah's picture is there, but she's got like looks like she has one place kind of around where the fires are, but there's three places. I mean, good for her. I'm never ever gonna slam somebody for making money, and then I don't think anybody needs more than one home to live in. Maybe if you're obscenely rich like Oprah, I mean, have a place in the States, maybe 2 places in the States and 1 place in an exotic location, and that's cool. But
you got I think 3 houses max. You got your summer home, your winter home, and your vacation home, and that should be it at that point. Anything more than that's just unnecessary. Like with the Gates, him buying up all that farmland and not doing anything with it. That's just a waste of agricultural space at that point.
Right. It's space that can't be farmed. It can't be utilized. It can't be exploited. And exploitation is not a bad word. It's just, it needs to be, employees need to be exploited for their talents. Land needs to be exploited for its benefits. If you can grow crops on it, do it. If you can dig for minerals, do it. I'm not saying everything ought to be a strip mine, but you gotta use the tools with in your toolbox. Screw Oprah. Her daddy was nice. He owned a little bitty barbershop in Nashville forever. Yeah, I don't hate on rich people, but I do wish that they would get a grip. Get a grip. Read the room.
Politicians need to get a grip and understand $700. That's like, what universe are you still stuck in the 1970s?
That's like the magic number for that. That was that was like a COVID payment, wasn't it?
I don't know what's going on up there right now, but
I mean, really, what wasn't that? I think I got a check for something like $700 or something like that.
Yeah, something crazy.
Whether I wanted it or not, I got it. Threw it in a savings account, and that's it. Still sitting there. It's going to pay for my fucking foundation repair.
That's what I did with mine. I just jacked it in the savings account. If you give it to me, cool, but I know the inflation is just going to ruin this money anyways. Oh, man, it's that time. Oh,
is it that time?
Time for a break.
Time for a break. All right. Well, okay.
When we come back, we need to get on Musa's question about taxes. Though.
Yes. Yes, Musa, we are going to get back with you, and I've got a tinfoil view of this Maui fire that I do want to talk about because I think it might twist you a little bit.
Okay.
So we're going to get back to that. So in the meantime, we are going to take a break, and I'm going to get back with this. I need to write a note. 7A. This is the one. 7A. Okay. So I don't come back to the wrong spot. Okay, everybody, we are going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about Moose's question and taxation. We're going to continue to talk about the Maui fire with a tinfoil twist, and then we're going to go on to really fun stuff like a Chinese biolab in California. Yay! Okay, we're going to take a break. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Hang in there, man. We're going to be back in just a few minutes. Bye. Shots. Ooh, I need to turn that on. If I'm going to play music, I should probably turn the volume up on my music slider right there. All right, we'll be back in just a couple minutes. Shots.
This is WTF Nation Radio.
We're playing music on a muted channel. Great.
WTF Nation Radio.
This is WTF Nation Radio.
All right, everybody, here we go for the second hour of Friday Night Freedom here on WTF Nation Radio and U.S. Army WTF Moments. And on kick.com/Friday Night Freedom. How's it going, everybody? Now, I've got this mental note and this physical note, too. We need to talk about taxation. Not only the fact that it's theft, but we need to revisit Moose's question. Moose, you're still here, right?
I'm pretty sure he's patiently waiting.
He's always here. He is the pervasive consumer of all shows, WTF Nation. So, okay, let's talk about Moose's question. His question, let me scroll back up here. It's not an act of God. Oprah owns a bunch of shit. There was a safety report, blah, blah, blah.
How come the government collects taxes, but the government still is in debt 30 trillion? Is there a day when the national debt will be paid?
The answer to that question is no. No. The borrowing money is okay. It's kind of like building the nation's credit report, I guess. Mm-hmm. So you need to have some form of debt to income ratio. The government doesn't make money. They impose taxes and they collect money. I think the reason why there is such a huge, what is the national debt? 20-something trillion? 22 trillion?
No, it's 30-something.
30-something? Great.
Hold on, let me. I'll tell you. There's a debt calendar, national debt calendar.
Yeah. What's the? It's like, and it's not like it's like, and it's always rising. It's never falling.
32 trillion, 710 billion, 4,509,000. 4,500. Oh, never mind. 4,000, 6,000, 200, 300, 4,000.
Jesus.
Debt per citizen, $97,000.
So
debt per taxpayer.
The reason why our debt is so topsy-turvy like this is because we have a spending problem in Washington. I don't think it's a taxation problem. I think we can survive with the money that is being collected. But in Washington, there's this spending problem. I think that once these politicians get elected to office, they're all of a sudden they're in charge of, Congress is in charge of this humongous checkbook.
Spends. It's omnibuses are the big thing too. They haven't properly done a budget in like 10 years now, 10, 20 years now at that point. Huh?
Yeah.
They pass these mysterious omnibuses in the middle of the night that have, $10 billion to Pakistan for gender studies programs, or we're buying boats for this country that I've never even heard of before. It's just like,
and that doesn't count black budgets for things and stuff.
Yes, things
and stuff, and
the psyops.
You know what? As far as military spending goes, if there's a black pocket somewhere, I'm cool with that. And I really hate that there's these breaking news. This money is just being used and is not really in a part of a checkbook. And I work with government contracts and stuff. I am the recipient of a large government contract, and it sucks to a point. I'm thankful for my job and stuff, but there's like, if we want something, if we need to order things, like for this new lab that I'm building, let's just say, for instance, I need 50 computers with these specifications. And I can't get quotes for it. I say, these are the things that I need, and these are the people that I need them from. Single source authorization, we have to justify that, and then a quote is done by someone within my company. Then they forward that information to the government, and the government says, "Okay, let me check your work," and then they do the same thing. And then they say, okay, yes, you can do this. This is an authorized expenditure. This process, it used to take, when my company, when we were doing development work on these aircraft, it was easy. We need this. The company says, okay, why do you need that? We explained it. They said, okay, go ahead. So we'd write the PO, we'd get the computers. And it would take maybe a week to make the order, and then whatever the lead time is to get the computers from that company. Now we're waiting 6 or 8 weeks just for the government to respond. Yes, you are authorized to spend this money. Then we place the order. Then it's another, however long for the lead time. Well, you got the debt clock up there, and it's ticking. It's ticking. So the government does run a tight ship as far as government spending on military programs, and that's what I work. That's my job. What happens if everyone stops paying taxes? Well, you're going to get armed IRS agents at your door.
You want to talk about that?
Train like you fight. Didn't some agent get unalive at a
range?
Yeah. On a range, yeah. He got
That's not. I'm not laughing. That's sad. It's sad. This life was lost. It's sad, but what was it? What, about like a year or two ago? They had pictures of IRS agents probably in a hostage scenario for some reason.
Yeah, I'm like, really?
And they're all pointing guns at each other or flagging each other.
So, Musa, I hope that answered your question. I hope you're still here. But there's a lot of Hawaii is expensive as shit. The reason why Hawaii is expensive as shit is because they're an island. that whole island chain. They're separated from everything else. So
they
everything is expensive.
Imports.
Yeah, everything is either brought there by boat or plane, which really kind of sucks because it is expensive there. So it sucks, especially for the natives there that aren't doctors and lawyers that own the vacation homes. They're there. That's their island. That's where they live. That's where their heritage is.
And the natives had it figured out. They were living there perfectly fine without having boats bringing them food. But we kind of screwed that pooch.
just to make it day to day, I think the estimate was you need to make about $70,000 to $100,000 a year just to live in Hawaii.
That's insane.
That's why they have like families that live together, entire like generations of families that live together in housing, just because everyone's income helps support the house and of course whatever their taxation is and things. Is Dog the Bounty Hunter okay? Is he in Hawaii?
I don't know. I met him one time in Virginia one time.
Really?
It was kind of crazy. Yeah, I was at a gas station in Culpeper or near Fredericksburg.
You're like, are you looking for me? No, okay, we're cool.
I was like, holy crap, you're that guy. He's like, yeah, I'm here for some business. I was like, okay, I'll see you later.
Don't let me take you away from everything. I used to watch Dog the Bounty Hunter. I just kind of got turned off on it just because it was so produced. You start watching things and you're just like, nah, this is great. And then season after season, you're just like, all right, this is kind of
it's
produced.
I mean, he really does do a job, but it's like, what was it? Duck Dynasty was like, oh, this is fun. And then it got like super produced. And I was like, this is not fun no more.
Yeah. And then you stop watching and then shit gets canceled and then you're on reruns. Then you have to resort to residuals. So let's talk about the last thing, and this may or may not twist you. I don't know if this is accurate or not. But here's a weird one. The fires began in Maui on August 8th, and they lasted for the most part until about the 14th. A book had already been written about it, and it is right now available on Amazon. The book, in its own words, is a chronicle of the events that occurred between August 8th and August 11th. What's odd is that the book was published on the 10th. So here's an entire book written. It's got 1 star. It's got a 1-star review with 13 reviews, averages 1 star. So if you look at that, the publication date is August 10th, 2023, but it was a chronicle of the events that occurred between August 8th and August 11th of 2023.
Who wrote the book?
Dr. Miles Stones.
So Dr. Miles Stones?
Miles, M-I-L-E-S, Stones, as in stones.
Miles Stones. Okay, milestone.
That milestones. That kind of sounds like it's not really a person.
It's chat. Someone took ChatGPT, slapped it together. I don't know how it got published to paperback unless Amazon's doing direct publishing now. I don't know if that's a thing or not.
I think it's a direct publish thing. But the thing is, it says paperback.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is I don't know if like Amazon's actually doing like, hey, you want the book? If it sells so many copies, they publish it and sell it. No?
Or it's like you can pre-order a T-shirt.
Yeah.
Like if you go to Bunker Branding or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You can pre-order a T-shirt and they wait for 20 or 30 or 50 or 100 orders to come in, and then they make the production because that saves money.
All they do is refund you if you don't. But it's AI. It's ChatGPT. Someone sat down and said, "This is what's happened. Write me a quick story, 50-some pages, I think it was. I saw this. I actually was like looking into this because it was crazy."
So you've seen it then?
Yes, I've seen this, and it was nuts. And I've just come to the conclusion that people are using this new chat. What is it? Language learning model, LLMs. I guess is the proper term for that.
God, I bet you that thing's just full of grammatical errors, like from front to back, man.
But no, it's just I throw it on there. Boom! If I could sell on Kindle Unlimited for $0, if you got Kindle Unlimited, go read it. I think it's only like 50 pages long or something like that. Huh?
I could read that. That's a good bathroom book right there.
A horror experience of people who live through fire. Like the media hasn't even been allowed to dare people.
Yeah, isn't there like not a TFR, but people are encouraged not to go to Maui right now just because of the chaos. Maui's a big island, but there's these 4 or 5 fires in there. That kind of, if you're sitting on a seat to be a tourist going to Maui, you're taking the seat from someone who is going there to actually help people. So yeah, let's not go to Maui for a few weeks, okay?
But you just, I'm sorry, I was reading the chat. My brain completely blanked. You were talking about what? Huh?
Oh no, I was just saying, Maui is not a huge island, but there's like 4 or 5 big fires that are on that island. So if you're please choose not to go to Maui.
No, don't do your tourist crap.
Yeah, no, because a seat that is used for a tourist can be used for
relief,
a doctor or a relief worker or something, or a politician, flying coach.
Yeah, right.
To go there and help.
There was on the TikTok, there was a video of someone shooting. They pan out and like, look, this is where the fires were at, and then they pan out to the ocean, and there's a snorkeling freaking tour going on.
Oh, God damn! The island's on fire, and it's like, hey,
it's good. Well, I'm here for my vacation.
So there's space lasers cause the fire and shit like that.
Directed energy DEWs is what they call them.
Yeah, direct energy weapons.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe that.
I mean, there's a reason why Canada and everywhere else is on fire right now, because they're just shooting laser beams. Who was that? Marjorie Taylor Greene with what she call them? Jewish space lasers?
Did she actually say that? Because I've seen some memes.
I don't know. I've seen it floating around, but I can. She's one of those.
There's actually memes in there with like a cockpit, and then you have your instrument panel, and there's like a button for the Jewish space laser. I'm like, oh my God, come on, man.
I mean, I could believe her saying some dumb crap like that. But I mean, it'd be like, AOC saying some crazy.
Lauren Boebert. I mean, her heart's in the right area, man. But dude, no, just stop.
Hey, Wood.
God.
But no, we got Josh. This is why I got distracted because I was reading Josh Hilkin added a comment here. I said, I don't listen to the show much. What's your thoughts on the Vanessa Gillian case with the girlfriend getting 30 years? And what about the other bodies found on Fort Hood? And all I can say is good that the girl got 30 years, but she should have been, put to death, in my opinion. And the bodies are always found on Fort Hood, my man. I was stationed there every time a unit would come back from deployment, bodies would be found. You'd be out in the field. Same with Bragg, or what do they call it now? It's not I said Fort Hood.
Liberty.
Right, Liberty. Yeah. Back at Bragg, we'd do clean sweep. We'd find bodies all over.
The only thing that I found on Hood, which is now Cavazos, was you would see like regular like cars that were on tank trails that were just completely flattened. So we'd walk by them and we'd mark it, GPS position, going, there's probably a body in there somewhere, and then move on. Spring cleanup. Yeah.
Spring cleanup. Yeah. It's going to have a Bragg. It's like every time you'd be going back through the anywhere, like all that train area going down, like Chicken Road or over there on the other side going towards Spring Lake and stuff like that. There'd be bodies found every year out there. Just
not just GIs, just people. Humans.
Yes, yeah. Well, that's a good place to dump bodies.
Because it is. Really, objectively speaking, it is.
Objectively speaking, but yes.
Not that I've done that, but it's a good idea.
It's Vietnam, there's a lot of jealous, troops that snatch Jody up after deployment and just drop them off at the tank trail. I mean.
No one's going to find him for at least a year.
Yeah, I'll be good. And then by then, I'm probably ETSing out. So, or I'm PCSing.
You see Heath's comment? He goes, we're going to we're going to put a laser on the moon, and then we're going to hold the world ransom for $1 million.
Those what do they call them? Kinetic energy. I do believe that there's kinetic energy weapons. I do believe in that. You know? I really that makes sense to me. Lasers, on the other hand, no.
I like the I've got some DARPA video. It's just, it's like, here's the idea, and it's just kinetic. It's kinetic weapons, and it's something about the size of a C-141 or a C-5, and it's just pallets and pallets and pallets of kinetic missiles that don't do anything, but they just have a mass and they drop, and they just the force of those things hitting the ground, and
tungsten telephone poles.
This is all, and it's just it's a video. It's a conceptual video. It's not a real video. These things, to my knowledge, don't exist. I do like the rail guns. I do like rail guns.
We know they exist.
They do exist. I know they exist. Those are fucking awesome.
I used to make coil guns as a kid. You know?
The ABL, airborne laser. That's a thing. It is a thing.
But no, space lasers, no.
You know what else is a thing? Fucking China. Owning a freaking bio lab in California.
I heard about
this. This is a couple weeks. This is one of the stories I wanted to get to when I was talking to Radar. We just never got to it. No fault on Radar. We just had such a great conversation. But anyway, a Chinese leaked company was found running an unlicensed California biolab that contained at least 20 potentially infectious diseases, including coronavirus, HIV, hepatitis, and herpes. The warehouse was discovered by local and federal agents in Fresno. The illegal and unlicensed laboratory was full of lab mice, medical waste, and other hazardous materials. Federal agents interviewed a man named something I can't pronounce, Ziquin Yao, who was running the company at the warehouse called Prestige Biotech. As soon as I read that, I'm thinking, Prestige Worldwide.
Boats
and hose. So the company was registered in Nevada, but the owners used empty offices or addresses in China that could not be verified, according to the court documents filed in the case. Prestige Biotech was not licensed in California. There was no mention whether it was licensed in any other state.
This was in L.A., right?
Fresno. I don't know where the location of Fresno is relative to.
No, my tinfoil is clicking here. Give me a sec.
Okay. To continue, quote, hundreds of mice at the warehouse were kept in inhumane conditions, the court document said. After taking over the warehouse and possession of the animals, the city euthanized 773 of them. More than 175 were just found dead. Fresno County public health staff and other investigators also observed blood, tissue, and other bodily fluid samples and serums, and thousands of vials of unlabeled fluids and suspected biological material. The CDC came by and tested the substances and detected at least 20 potential infectious agents. Yao and Prestige Biotech, boats and hose, are accused of committing numerous crimes, including illegal disposal of hazardous materials, failure to comply with biological abatement orders, and more. But the thing is, in China, they probably just dumped that shit in a fucking river. So they were probably just doing things that they would normally do back home, right?
Yeah, probably. But I'm noticing something. I looked it up because I was like, "Where's the location of Fresno?" It is specifically, like, perfectly positioned between San Francisco and Los Angeles.
So you can just like blow something up at some point and then spread all that crap equally.
Or hey, we want to test this out and go to like Skid Row in Los Angeles, like halfway down the road, and just jab someone with a needle and roll out.
Oh god, yeah.
San Francisco's the same way. There's a huge homeless population in the area.
San Francisco is a shithole now anyway. San Francisco used to be so awesome, and now it's just, crap on the street. People are just, no. San Francisco is a big fucking no.
Huge homeless population. If you wanted to do human testing, that would be the place to do it, no? Unregistered human testing.
You've got to. I mean, I'm not encouraging this activity at all, but you're right. Any big city, Philadelphia, Austin, Texas, San Francisco, Seattle, Washington, Portland, Oregon.
About, a heroin addict like humped over. Okay, cool. I want to test this out and see what happens. I could sit there and watch him. No one's going to care because he's just a zombie walking around the street. You're used to seeing it all day long.
This is where the zombie apocalypse starts. Someone needs to start driving around Portland or something with one of those. What was it damn it, Mia Jovovich, the zombie movie,
Resident Evil.
Resident Evil, with a. Now, what was the parent company? The Umbrella Corporation. With like a black van with Umbrella Corporation stuff on the outside.
No, I mean, that's my tinfoil belief behind that. Because if you're going to operate an unregistered biolab, well, I mean, you're in prime real estate.
The thing is,
human tested at that point.
That's the one that they caught. How many others are there?
Oh, well, it's like the police stations. Have you heard about the Chinese police stations?
The Chinese police stations, yes.
Yes, they're all they keep finding them all over the place. It's like, why is China operating police stations in the United States? They're monitoring their people here. Is what they're doing. But that's just crazy to me. That to me is espionage at that point. Huh?
I think the espionage comes in where China buys up farmland outside of an Air Force base, like they'd have in either North or South Dakota or in Minnesota. Right next to one of the, like the nuke sites in the Dakotas or in Montana.
Or do you remember the Confucius Institute?
No.
It was like these weird, it was like Chinese learning centers that were popping up in these big universities around the United States. They call I got to look this up now.
Okay. So they're kind of like piggybacking. They're caveating from academia.
Institute,
and they're getting people to participate.
Yeah, Confucius Institutes in the United States, China Institutes in the United States, but they start. Okay, here you go. Controversial. This is I don't know. I just want this one right here. How many Confucius Institutes in the United States? June 2023. Blah 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 blah. Give me the info. I don't need all that crap. And pretty much every major city here, Confucius. There's one. China.
What is it? What is it passed off as? Like a think tank?
It's like it's not. It's more along the lines of like, hey, you want to learn Chinese or this, or a lot of these Chinese students get into this. But
I mean, I'd like to learn to speak Chinese.
But there's a whole, I guess, a conspiracy theory, or maybe not a conspiracy theory at this point, but they're indoctrinating people into certain ways of thinking, kind of. Well, any institution's going to do that, but
trying to convince people to support China as opposed to
communism,
or communism in general. Yeah,
I
get it. I get it.
Portland, San Francisco.
Those are prime locations, man.
Mm-hmm. Utah, Minnesota.
Utah?
Yeah, Salt Lake. Yeah.
No shit.
There's one in MIT. Let's see here. Some of the big colleges, and some of them just host it. I think there used to be more of them, but they started cracking down on them because it really was like a CCP kind of like tool to infiltrate the universities and shit like that. Huh?
It's like a backdoor way of espionage.
Yeah, well, not even espionage, just like, well, that too. I mean, like, you got that Navy kid that just recently got snatched up because he was trying to sell top secret information to China and crap like that. But
so, what do you think about that kid that ran into North Korea?
He has everything coming to him that I don't know what crime he committed that he was going to get court-martialed.
Oh, dude, no, Ice had a list. The dude has like attempted murder. He's got bad shit on his list.
Oh, well then, we would have smacked him on the hand. He was sat in Leavenworth, getting 3 meals a day in a hot cot. He got what he deserved then at that point. He's going to be sitting in North Korea just loving life at that point. That's going to be a vacation for him at that point. Huh?
So eventually he's going to, if he doesn't die in North Korea, he's going to come back from North Korea and then go to Leavenworth. So he's screwed, he's punched his ticket to like not the happy place.
I mean, Leavenworth is definitely an upgrade from North Korea.
Probably.
So I mean, maybe he's just like, screw it, I'm just gonna prep myself for life for the rest of the week.
It's a training for Leavenworth. I don't know. All right, let's have fun with this. Let's have fun with this next one. So check this out. Have you seen this story? A zoo in China is denying that its bears are humans in disguise. That kind of looks like a 50-year-old dude in a bear costume with the wrinkled butt and everything.
It's even waving.
Hey, yeah, and it was.
Sad part about it is they skinned a poor sun bear to put this man wearing his skin suit. They do climb in through the mouth and it's like.
So the controversy stemmed from social media videos which recently circulated and showed one of Hangzhou's zoo sun bears standing on his hind legs and appearing to be human. It looks like a human in a costume. It does, and I'm not going to say that it doesn't, but that's what sun bears look like. Sun bears look like something else in a bear costume, trying to be a bear. Someone trying to impersonate a bear, but that's what they look like, dude. So yeah, my opinion is it's a bear.
I don't know. Some bears a little bigger than that, huh?
Well, they're not that big. I don't have the deets on sun bears, but that's what they look like.
I'm looking at a whole ton of pictures of sun bears standing up. It looks like a bear.
It looks like a bear trying to impersonate being a bear.
Maybe
not.
I'm on Google Images right now. I typed in sun bear standing up, and that does it does.
No, my opinion is definitely in the that's a bear.
It's a skinwalker. So it might be a bear.
I got some North Korea news. We can talk about little Kim.
Did they invent the hamburger again?
North Korean leader Kim Jong-un reportedly indulges in popular European food and alcohol, favoring Parma ham and whiskey, commonly found in on grocery store shelves, according to the UK defense expert. And according to his chef, he is an inveterate boozer, drinks a Black Label Scotch whiskey and Hennessy brandy, and is a heavy smoker. Kim, age 39, is reportedly earning a nickname that translates to the fat one in English. Comments come after South Korea's intelligence service told reporters last month that they believe that Kim could be suffering from insomnia while abusing alcohol and tobacco, and they speculate that he weighs approximately 300 pounds. Intelligence service leaders added that they believe he is now hoarding insomnia medications. News of the possible health issues for the North Korean dictator have been floated before, including speculation that his health was suffering after he skipped a series of important events earlier in this year, and we cover that in other stories, in other shows. The story was reported in early July, and North Korea isn't very happy about it. As a result, they needed to start talking more shit, so the North Korean Foreign Ministry released a number of statements. North Korea's Foreign Ministry this week, or actually this is 2 weeks ago, vowed that the country would, quote, annihilate the United States, according to adding that the United States would be terminated this century. Okay, dude, you got 80 years. Should the U.S. choose to offend the Republic, we will annihilate them using all of our military power. Okay. They're going to throw sticks at us until...
You know how tall he is?
I don't know how tall he is. You could probably
5'4".
You could.
Between 5'7".
He's 5'4".
Yes. So you said he's 300 pounds.
300 pounds at 5'4". Yo, man,
a unit.
he's like a rectangle.
I gotta whoever his tailor is, man. I need his number.
You sure you don't want his barber's number?
No, I don't have hair, so I don't have to worry.
With the collapse of the Soviet Union, North Korea lost a significant contributor to its economy. Now, with the war in Ukraine and rising tensions between the East and the West, North Korea has sought to strengthen its ties with China and Russia. To a degree, it's working, but not at all for the North Korean people. Kim doesn't give a damn about his people. The more aid that enters the country, the richer Kim becomes. Today, in an article on The Hill, North Koreans now face 15 years in a labor camp if they are caught looking at, quote, reactionary ideology and culture, or information from abroad, especially from South Korea. Those who are caught distributing that information will either be in prison for life or they will be put to death. Kim Jong-un is the 36th richest man in the world, and he is, as recently as 2018, took delivery of 2 special Maybach Mercedes S600s that run about $250,000 a piece. He has 17 palaces and a private plane. So everyone's bitching about Oprah having all these houses and shit. Mm-hmm. And no one's talking about Kim Jong-un having 17 fucking palaces and a private plane and these, $500,000 in Mercedes cars.
What was that, just recently, that, terrorist that we, offed with one of those really, crazy, it was like a ninja cruise missile? You know what I'm talking about? It had the...
Yes, the guy from Iran.
Yeah, they took his head off, right?
Well, it took his fucking... Yeah.
Yeah, split him in a million pieces, probably. But still, why don't we just zip and end that? There's people suffering because of this man. Screw it. Let's just
imagine.
Say,
okay,
it.
let's say for an instance, and I'm not talking about assassinating a foreign leader, but let's just say for instance that it happened. Someone dropped a kinetic weapon and it ended up unaliving Kim Jong-un. All of a sudden, this guy's not there. Who's going to take control? His crazy ass sister is in line. He has a sibling, a sister, a younger sister, who is said to be crazier than he is. Not that he's crazy. She was in charge of assassinating that person with the.
It was his brother, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was his own brother.
Yeah, his brother was just screw it, I don't want nothing to do with this. He was living in Malaysia or in Philippines somewhere. He's I don't want nothing to do with this crap, and he left the family and was just living abroad at that point. Huh?
So let's just say for instance that they all got unalived. Let's say Kim Jong-un's gone, and his sister is gone. So there's no more family to take control of the country.
No more.
There's going to be such a vacuum of power. No one's going to know how to act. The citizens who have been oppressed, everyone who is alive now has been oppressed all of their life. These are old. They're old. The entire population is old, and everyone since then has been living under this dictatorial oppression. They're not going to know how to act. They're not going to know what to do. What's legal? What? It's legal to have an opinion? What do you feel about this? I don't know. Yeah, I really, and I think that's the reason we don't, NATO, whatever.
Because it'd be too much of a humanitarian crisis to try to get these people straight with the rest of the world.
Shit, dude, it'll take generations to get them straight.
I don't know, because you get some defectors that come over here and they adapt pretty quick. They're like, holy crap, I've never eaten beef in my life. Ooh, this is great.
Like beef, from a cow? This isn't dog? Great. Awesome. This is yummy. Not as greasy as dog.
I could use the internet on this box. How's this work? You'd be surprised how quick
Holly, dude. Holly's like, give him some internet and some food to grow and leave them be.
Yeah,
they'll figure out a way.
Yeah,
but I hope, I hope that they don't turn into assholes, just like they're predators. It's like someone coming from an abusive household tends to be abusive to the people whoever they're in control of. If you are a father and you abuse your children, chances are you came from an abusive household or whatever. Let's make that connection. So I think there's going to be generations of abuse.
Two generations. You get rid of that crap, I guarantee you it'll just be on par with South Korea on everything.
At least two. South Korea is so successful. They're awesome. South Korea is great, dude. I actually looked at living there as like an English teacher. The only problem is I don't speak Korean. I really like the culture of the South Koreans. So
I actually heard like it was like Japan or somewhere where they actually prefer their conversational English teachers not to speak Japanese.
I can do it. I like the culture. I like it's a beautiful country.
Japan, South Korea. I always wanted to go to Japan, but South Korea would be awesome too. But never been to South Korea. Missed out on that chance before getting out of the military.
You dodged that bullet, huh?
Like, yeah, I've only got like a year left in the army, and I really don't feel like spending the last year.
You don't want to ETS out of Korea, which is probably a smart fucking choice. But that's Uncle Sam rolling the dice.
Yeah, they were trying. Well, I mean, I was already what was it, RSP, whatever they call it, where like I needed to get promoted in order to stay in at that point. That's what they're trying to do. Yeah, whatever the term for it is. Like I can't remember this crap. Yeah, I hit my 10 years as a specialist. They're just like, yeah, you need to promote. Get the hell out. Like, all right.
Not stop loss. God, I forget the damn word.
Yeah, it's like RSP or some crap like that. Like even like sergeants and staff sergeants don't get that, but even E5 sergeants.
What's the cutoff for E4s now? I thought it was like 8 years. It used to be 8, and then it went to 10.
Well, no, they bumped it up to 10 and 12 if you were promotable, which I did have I guess if you're in for so long, you get that stupid automatic promotable status crap, man. It was a STARS program or whatever it is, but
damn.
No, like I think E5 was 15.
Damn. Okay.
They bumped it up because it was 8, and then they bumped it up. It's like, oh, cool, I can stay in it.
I really loved being in the Army, but I couldn't anymore. I was in an accident, so I was injured, I guess. I wasn't my 100% self, so I just decided to get the fuck out. I'm glad I did because
28 Fort Campbell. Well, hello, Clayton Chapman. Looking at you. Sorry to cut you off.
Oh no, you're good. So we were talking about conspiracy theories earlier. Aliens, are you good with aliens? Like the green ones, not the other ones.
Oh no! I mean, I don't want to get like super like weird about the aliens, but have you ever seen the Hubble Deep View?
No.
You've never seen the Hubble Deep View, like the picture of the Hubble Deep View?
I've seen some really, really great pictures from Hubble.
Hubble Deep View will blow your mind, and if you like you'll start seeing these little dots in the picture, and they're like, those aren't stars, those are galaxies. It's how deep they focus on the darkest spot they can find for like 10 days or something like that.
Oh shit, okay.
But yeah, if there's that many galaxies floating around with trillions of stars inside of them, and we think we're the only motherfuckers around here, we're stupid.
I've always felt that the galaxy is so huge, it's just stupid to think that we're the only motherfuckers here that can think and do things. There's, biological life, yes, but other beings that can actually, think and do and communicate and build communities and civilizations and whatever. I think it's stupid to think that because the galaxy is so massive. But anyway, with all this that's happening in the world, it comes as no surprise that the world as a whole is pretty much silent on some of the information that came out of Congress's UFO hearing a couple of weeks ago. 3 former military officials told Congress that they believe that the government knows much more about UFOs than it's telling the public. The House Oversight Committee held a hearing on UFOs, officially known as the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena, or UAPs, conference. And they heard testimony about unexplained objects, citing the government is in possession of non-human biological matter. Lawmakers on the committee, baffled by some of the testimony, repeatedly noted that UAPs sightings are an issue of bipartisan concern, and it raised national security questions. Separately, some of them accused the federal government of endeavoring to conceal the UFO-related information. I mean, dude, look at Project Blue Book. Project Blue Book was designed just to, on the surface, they were there to confirm information, but they were actually there to spread disinformation. Oh, that was swamp gas, things like that. The sheer number of reports, whistleblowers, and stories of unidentified anomalous phenomena should raise real questions and warrant investigation and oversight. And that's why we are here today. That was Representative Robert Garcia, the top Democrat on the subcommittee. The thing is, all of this crap is going on in the world right now, and Congress actually basically came out and said, yeah, there's aliens. And the entire nation is just like, okay. What's next?
I mean, we're so desensitized to everything. You know, after the pandemic, everyone being afraid of everything. And, you know, now everyone's like looking at inflation and people are making it paycheck to paycheck. And like, especially, you know, my generation, a lot of people in my generation, they live paycheck to paycheck. And that's how they've experienced their entire life. You know, I could give 2 craps about aliens is what they're thinking. Like, what's that going to do for me? I still got to pay my freaking mortgage, you know?
Yeah, it's going to be like, okay, what are you going to do for me? Can you give me some superpowers? Are you going to take over my government? Can I help? Is the next question. Yeah, take me to your leader. All right, I'll show you.
Like, I heard one. It was like the aliens came down and were like, we're instilling a work schedule that is mandatory for everyone to work. You'll work 4 hours a day. You'll have 3 days off. You get help. And everyone's cheering and they're like, wait, well, this is so oppressive. No, you don't know. We work like 80 hours a week.
No shit, dude. If I could work 4 hours a week and there's a video. Oh my gosh. I need to share this video with you. I can't do it now just because I don't know where it's at, but it's just like, it's like we're here to, stop this atrocity and stuff. ICE plays that clip all the time, but it's the same kind of skit where someone addresses the city council and it's just like, the aliens are here it was about AI. AI is here. What we want to do, AI pay us all $10,000 a month so we can party and have really great bonfires on the beach. And, everyone's going to be out of a job, but just, pay us enough money to sustain ourselves. And it's all cool. It's great. It's fucking great. And alien life, I don't know, dude. Am I going to see a gray man with a, big ass head? As long as he doesn't try to probe me, I guess I'm cool.
As long as they're not space spiders, I don't give a crap.
Space spiders are pretty terrifying. I wouldn't like that. I don't like regular spiders anyway.
Or xenomorph kind of like alien kind of crap. I don't want that. No.
So yeah, that alien thing fucking happened. And no one cared, dude. It didn't blow up in the news. It blew up for about a week and then it stopped.
What if they buy me dinner first? Yeah, well, maybe the spider aliens, maybe if they buy me dinner first.
Did you see Governor Abbott's deployment of the little floaty thing in the
I saw
Rio
that.
Grande?
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty cool. I still think it's pretty cool. Some people say that I've seen pictures that there's like, it says like razor, not razor blades, but like a sawtooth in between each of those orange things is a like a blade or something.
It's like a probably spinning blade that you try to grab a hold of it.
But I don't get it. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. So Mexican authorities are trying to identify 2 bodies in the Rio Grande that they found a couple of weeks ago, including one that was spotted along the floating barrier that Texas Governor Greg Abbott had installed recently on the Rio Grande by Eagle Pass. Mexico's Foreign Relations Department reported for the first time that a body had been found floating on the along the barrier. The state prosecutor's office later told media outlets that the two bodies were recovered and that the process of identification was underway. Preliminary information suggests that individuals drowned upstream from the marine barrier and floated into the buoys. There are personnel posted at the marine barrier at all times in case any migrants try to cross. The buoys are designed to make it more difficult for illegal border jumpers to climb over or swim under. So I think it's a good thing. I think they ought to keep them.
Maybe we should just take the whole Rio Grande from Mexico.
Split it down the middle.
They split it down the middle, which makes sense. But maybe we should just like, hey, can we have the entire Rio Grande?
Musa says, do you think aliens might see primates as violent?
Very much so, probably. You talking about us?
I think they would see us as pets and them as annoyances. Anything not human, anything subhuman, like monkeys or ants or dogs or whatever.
Like that, no? They can travel a galaxy at will.
They would see us as pets.
We're just ants.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you can think, but can you think? I mean, like, octopuses are probably smart too, man. Super intelligent creatures.
Octopus are great. I love octopus. My daughter is freaked out. Whenever I send her a video of an octopus, she's like, ew. She's really freaked out by octopus.
But I know they're super intelligent creatures. But guess what? I still eat them.
What does that mean, Musa? Do we kill for food or kill more? Alien invasion outside of Fort Campbell? A shootout with aliens outside of Fort Campbell. I have to read that.
Oh, there was that one in Vegas. Did you hear about the one in Vegas? Like, the only reason why it made the news is because a cop saw the freaking aircraft landing and he went to investigate.
It was actually on his cam, on his chest cam.
He was like, "What the heck was that?"
Oh yeah, primates are violent. Yeah, if you ever see communities of apes or gorillas or whatever, there's a hierarchy, and they'll immediate punishment for if you're misbehaving.
Have you ever watched Humans?
Ask that Humans.
Have you ever watched Humans? I think we're far more violent than that. Hey, you looked at me funny. Start.
I think we are. Humans are violent, absolutely, but nature is violent. You get fucking jaguars just taking out alligators or crocodiles or wherever they're from. Yeah. I don't have an answer. I don't have a comment.
No comment.
Humans are primates. Yes, we are.
Old world primates.
We're just we're the ones that fucking developed. And we make decisions and do things and blow people up and develop nuclear weapons and invade fucking nations for reasons or non-reasons or reasons that will advance financially. It's all money. It's money. Is it worth it? Is it worth it to do this? Yes, it's worth it to do that. So,
it's a power thing.
It is power. All right, everybody. I think we're going to call it. So let's
weird one to get off on, but
let's all join back here for the sports bar where they're not going to talk about aliens. They're going to talk about sports and stuff. The Monday edition, usually a current events conversation with a senior sergeant in the military, and then pop culture warrior. We're going to have Oh, damn it. I thought writer, producer Ralph Tedesco is going to be on Pop Culture Warrior this Tuesday. And the Smoke Pit's on Wednesday. Sarge Time is on Thursday, and they talk about all things military related. Kind of, all of the stories that are told by ICE are, it's all the conversations are military related. And then Friday is Friday Night Freedom every other week. So I'm not going to be on next week, but I'll be on the week after that, unless something horrible happens. So everybody, thank you very much for hanging out. Pookie, man, you gotta have some kind of. You've been off for 2 weeks. So you've got this knowledge and this everything. So give us a good send off here.
Yeah, look, I just stick with my normal. Like, don't drink and drive. Don't beat your spouse. Don't kick your dog. And
these are all good. These are all accurate.
And man, I think I'm forgetting one, but yeah, y'all have a great and safe weekend, and I hope to see you around the next time we're on here.
So you're back for good now. I mean, no vacations on the horizon.
Not that I know of. Hopefully not.
Okay, everybody.
Vacation.
Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. I see you, Sin and Musa. Thank you very much for just hanging out with us on this Friday night, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks. But don't forget about the sports bar. All right, man. We're out of here. Hey, have a good one.
Breakfast, and she said, "Hey, something wrong, it's popping." I said, "What?" She said, "Yeah." I said, "No." So the girl come downstairs, she come out her apartment with her baby with no shoes on. I said, "Oh, girl, it's cold outside." She said, "Something ain't right." I said, "Oh, man." She said, "Oh, man, the building is on fire." I said, "No, what?" I got my 3 kids and we bounced out. We ain't gonna be in no fire, not today.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Let's see it.